Lead onboarding. So this is our next funnel. And if you're still with us at this point, just to reiterate that all the funnels that we've done so far, you're going to get the links to download those funnels exactly as they are. And I'm just going to send them all out at the end. So stick around if you want those templates. So lead onboarding. This is to provide some sort of education system and some sort of conversion system for people who are signing up, maybe using that footer form that we created earlier, or maybe some sort of other lead capture that you have on your site. Leads can come from a ton of different places, and we want to send qualified leads to this lead onboarding in the interest of having this person convert into some kind of customer. So new lead onboarding. So we have, we're starting off with a new lead, and I'm just using a tag applied. And before I move forward, I just do see a new question from Mateo. And Mateo is asking, if we have more than a couple of salespeople, is it possible to update the list dynamically each time a new sales representative is added? No. So if you add new salespeople, you do have to explicitly go into the funnel and add that new salesperson to the round robin. And the reason that is because, excuse me. And the reason that is because one company might have like groups of salespeople, and they don't want to, like, they might have like group A and group B, and they have different funnels. And so they want to explicitly control the people that are within that funnel. So you have to go in and explicitly change the apply owner step every time. Coming back to new lead onboarding, we're starting off with this new lead onboarding tag. So you can apply this tag basically in any funnel where you've identified someone as a high quality lead. So you saw that we did that in the footer opt-in form. So if someone didn't purchase, then we applied them to the onboarding tag in the hopes that this onboarding sequence is going to convert them. We also did it in our contact us follow-up. We're applying them to the lead onboarding campaign if they didn't make any sort of conversion action. And it's a fairly typical, I have it set up for, it looks like 14 days here. Or no, that's just 14 days. It looks like I have it set up for 7 days here. And we're ending it off with, again, some sort of conversion action. So I have course enrolled here, but it might be product purchased, it might be contract signed, it might be any various of different conversion actions, but it's important that you end it with some kind of conversion actions, because that way you can then go to the reports and you can see, okay, this many leads went into this funnel, and then this many customers came out, and it actually gives you a really nice conversion rate so that you can identify, you know, maybe there's some sort of issue here if it's converting under 50%. So we start off with our welcome email. And this is basically like a, hey, welcome, this is us kind of thing. So you're in, start here is our subject line. You can change this to something that maybe suits more your personality. This is very much written in sort of like my style. So you might want to change that to better represent your style. And obviously, if you're in a different language that's not English, you might want to change that. But basically, the gist is, welcome to Groundhogg. We really appreciate you joining our email list or your community, or something indicative of your overall business. And I know you'll love it when you see how easy it is to communicate with your audience and generate epic results using our CRM and marketing automation platform. That's obviously very specific to Groundhogg. So let's generify it up a little bit and make it for courses. So I really appreciate you joining our email, or I'm going to say our community, because it's like a course community. I know you'll get great results when you start learning from our amazing instructors and community members. That sounds nice. We started creating courses because we saw so many people insert specific niche group here. So if you're like creating courses for bakers, we saw so many bakers, right? People is fairly broad. You might want to specify that more to fit your niche. Struggling with this issue, I'll insert issue that you're solving here. We just had to do something about it. If you are looking to solve problem A, problem B, problem C. So this is your opportunity to have this person, have this lead, self-identify that they are an appropriate customer for your business. Right. So you basically just tell them, how it is. You tell them what their life is like. And then they have the opportunity to self-identify like, oh, that's me. So if you're talking to other people like me, I should probably be talking to you. So you want to iterate whatever problems it is that they're having that you're solving. Then I don't think you can make a better choice than being part of our community. You can help us better tailor your experience by answering a few questions. So if you have a survey that you might have already built, I'm not going to get into building the survey because that could take a whole hour on its own. If you can help us better tailor your experience by answering a few questions about your business, insert survey if you have one. For example, I have this survey for Groundhogg. So when someone signs up for our trial, or they purchase the free plugin or something, then we send them to the survey and we ask some questions like, what best describes your business? Well, I am a community membership. How long have you been in business? 1 to 2 years. Are you currently using another CRM marketing automation platform? I'm paying for one, but not using it. Great. What are you paying for? I'm paying for Infusionsoft. What are you currently paying for Infusionsoft? 100. Well, it looks like you can save this much money. What is your biggest struggle? Doesn't fit my needs. And then we send them to a relevant page tailored for them with specific posts about community, giving them next steps, testimonials from people like Fernando, who's at Wishlist Mentor and Buddy Boss, integrations that are specifically designed about community. And we have this whole tailored customer journey for the survey, but you don't necessarily have that. And I could go on about this whole survey experience for hours on its own. If you're interested in that, maybe let me know in the comments, and maybe we'll do another webinar discussing how this whole system works. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the chat, and maybe I'll consider doing another presentation, another webinar in the future dedicated to this system. But for now, what we're going to do is I'm going to just remove this because it's not relevant for most of you. Okay, then I don't think you can make a better choice being a part of our community. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll be sending you a few more emails to show you around and help you take full advantage of the tools and education we provide. Looking forward to working with you, making the assumption that they'll become a customer, and then we'll set that to ready and update. The only thing this email is missing is some next steps, because our next step was that survey that we had. But what we want to do is give them some other opportunities. So let's give them some opportunities. For now, your next steps are to, and we'll actually make this a numbered list. Your next steps are to join the Facebook community, follow us on Twitter, take this free course, something like that. Something that's easy. You don't want to inundate this person with a ton of stuff to do. So if you are going to make some next step suggestions, then make them really low barrier to entry stuff. So I'm just going to insert these as links so that when you download this funnel, you know that you have to link them. There we go. And update. So this is our let's introduce ourselves email. Moving on to our next email, which we're sending a day later, we're going to break down some of the next steps that we had into smaller parts. So we had like join our Facebook community, we had follow us on Twitter, we had take a free course. So we have all of those different kinds of next steps, and we're going to basically just break down each of those next steps into their own email. So we have our community email next. So join our thriving community. If your business doesn't have a community like a Facebook group or maybe like a Buddy Boss group or a community hosted anywhere, get one. Like if it can be a Slack channel, it could be like a Discord server, it could be whatever. Just get a place or host a community on a place where your customer would typically hang out in the first place. A lot of WordPress people hang out in Facebook groups because there's a ton of WordPress Facebook groups around. So it makes sense for us as Groundhogg to host our group on Facebook. But if your people aren't necessarily Facebook people, they might be Twitter people that have like a Twitter account dedicated to servicing the community. If your people are like gamers, then Discord is like super big right now. So you might want to have like a Discord server. If your people are using Slack, then having a Slack channel would be incredibly beneficial. Lots of different ways and lots of different places. But basically what we're just going to do is these are all the places where you can interact with us outside of like your app or your service or your courses. So we have like links to the Facebook group, links to the Facebook page, following us on Twitter, subscribing to the YouTube channel, all of these, right? And I really don't have to do a whole lot of anything here, which is nice. So click save. This is already pre-written. In the event that you're not following us on Twitter or subscribe to us on YouTube, I'll leave the links to go do that here in this email, so you can go do those later. Go ahead and close that. Then we're going to wait one day. And then I have an email that sends them a few blog posts. Now on our site, we have a special like custom system designed to do that. You're not going to have access to that. So what I would do is if you have like a few really popular blog posts that are ranking really well or answer in detail some like frequently asked questions, what you're going to do is you're just going to take a list. You're just going to create a list and you're going to post or link to those blog posts. So blog post A, post B, post C. And I'm just going to add a note for you. Make these answer some common questions about your services, or maybe posts that highlight specific issues to help the lead better identify with your services. There we go. And let's go ahead and I'll just make this orange. Go ahead and delete that later. Okay. And then again, you're going to want to link these to blog posts. Ooh. There we go. Update. Then we have wait one day, and then we have our higher level call to action. So the first two call to action that we have, join a community and read a blog post. Like those are like very low barrier. They don't have to invest anything other than their time. And there's no more information that we need from them in order to do those things. So on day 3, we're actually going to try to get them to make some kind of commitment. Maybe give you a credit card for like a trial, or invest in sort of some sort of like monetary way. This is where we're going to be like, hey, it's time to become a customer, basically. So for that, for Groundhogg internally, what we have is we have our 14-day trial for $1. Some of you on this webinar may be currently in our 14-day $1 trial, which is great. And if that's you, then you're going to get a little bit of a much like more insight look into how Groundhogg does their marketing. But I'm going to retailer this to make it a little bit more generic. So for LearnDash or for courses, what we actually do is we have a way for you to temporarily give access to a course for somebody. So, and if you're interested in learning how that's done, you can actually go to academy.groundhogg.io, and we have our course creators essentials courses. And this has a few examples of some interesting ways that you can use Groundhogg to improve the overall user experience of someone who's taking courses through your course website, including temporarily giving access to a course and then taking it away. So that's helpful if you want to offer a trial for like a very limited time period without having to like set up credit cards and all that stuff. So you can do it entirely through Groundhogg. So that's kind of interesting. And there's also like a bunch of other courses for people in e-commerce. If you're using BuddyBoss, if you want to set up like a referral system. If you didn't know that this was here, now you do. Lots of, and all of this stuff is free. All of these courses are free. So if you haven't taken any of them, I recommend you go do that. But I'm going to come back to our new lead onboarding funnel, and I'm going to say want to test or want to take some kind of commitment. So let's say want to learn for 14 days free, question mark. And I see a quick question here from Nicholas, who says, I've been sending emails as transactional and not marketing, and I've seen greater open rates with this type versus marketing. Is this something bad, or do you always recommend using marketing? All right, so here's the thing, Nicholas. Setting transactional versus marketing. Now, if you're seeing greater open rates when you have an email set to transactional, that could just totally be a fluke, because this doesn't actually impact the inbox in any way. So this message type setting is purely for Groundhogg to identify whether an email should be sent out regardless of the person's level of compliance and their opt-in status. So if you have like a transactional email, that'll actually get sent to somebody who's unsubscribed in the event that they submitted something where they're expecting to receive some sort of email. Right? So if you're sending a transactional email because they've explicitly requested something, that's when you would use transactional. But for marketing, let's say I'm sending like an email broadcast to promote this webinar, then that should be set to marketing, because I don't want that email to go to people who have unsubscribed, right? Because that's not the kind of content that they want. So, but this setting doesn't actually impact like Gmail in any way. Like Gmail doesn't know whether it's a transactional or marketing email. All it knows is what's in the content. Like there's no header that gets sent that identifies this is a marketing email or this is a transactional email. Like transactional emails are also perfectly capable of ending up in the promotions folder or the spam folder in Gmail. So if you are seeing different open rates based on this setting, I'm going to call that coincidence rather than this setting actually impacting open rates in any way. So I hope that makes sense. But you know, to make sure that you're compliant and your business is compliant, if it's a marketing email, and you'll know it's a marketing email if the person didn't request it. So if here's an example, like this is a marketing email because they're in this onboarding sequence, which they didn't necessarily ask to be a part of. And so if they unsubscribe because they don't want to receive onboarding emails anymore, then they shouldn't receive these emails anymore. But if we set them as transactional and they unsubscribe, then they're still going to receive this email, and we don't want that. So if they unsubscribe and they still need to get the email, then it's transactional. If they unsubscribe and you don't want them to receive the email, then it's marketing. And that's basically how it works. And again, if you're noticing a difference in open rates based on this setting, it is entirely coincidental. And this setting doesn't impact open rates in any way. Okay. Back to our email copy. So do you want to learn for 14 days for free? And we'll say something like, before you make a commitment to signing up for the year or something, if you're charging yearly. You can learn for 14 days, 100% free. Consume as much as you can to get started. Register here and link to CTA. Now, you don't actually, you know, if you're not a course site, you're not going to do this. But basically, what we are doing here is we're getting them to make some sort of higher level commitment and getting them to taste, right? We want them to get a taste of the solution so that when we take the solution away, they want to then invest. And if you have like a service where you can offer like a free trial, but you collect a credit card, so the trial automatically starts afterwards, then that's probably a great idea to place here. If you can't do that, then just doing like the restricted access thing might be a great way. Or if you have like a bunch of different paid services, you can give them one of those like cheaper paid services for free temporarily. And then that's going to get them hooked. So they're going to want to move up the ladder to some of your other core products. So all of those, basically, we want to give them a taste, and then we're going to take it away, and then they're going to go buy. Is essentially the idea. And then I'm going to say, here's how it works. And then just give them a few instructions. Sign up, get instant access for 14 days, learn as much as you can. And then if you're doing no CC required, you can say that as well. And then I also have this little nice replacement code here. And what's this is going to do is going to say, have a nice Monday or Tuesday, depending on whatever day you're sending this email. So I'll show you what that looks like. So if I go ahead and preview this, enjoy your Friday, because today is Friday. So that's a nice way to end off an email using the date replacement code. Okie dokie. So close that. Our next email is resources, right? So if you have resources, send them your resources. It could be blog posts, it could be testimonials, it could be whatever. But basically what you want to do is you want to send them some kind of resource. In this particular case, in the Groundhogg Lead Onboarding, we're sending them the Groundhogg Academy link. So register for Groundhogg Academy free, because all our courses there are free. And we're telling them all the great things about it. We're linking them to a specific course here to take the Quick Start course. So lots of different ways or lots of different opportunities that you have for these resources. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to make this super generic. Get what kind of resources does a course website have beyond the courses themselves? Community. Kurt says community. Thanks, Kurt. I would take you up on that, but we already have a community. PDF workbook. You know what? That's actually a great idea. That's a great idea. This workbook, great resource, will help you get your life in order! Exclamation mark. And do we have like a workbook emoji? Book. Yeah, there we go. Or maybe notebook. Orange notebook. That's very Groundhogg. There we go. This workbook will help you get your life in order. Maybe we put a pencil in there too. There we go. This workbook will help you get your life in order. Delete all that. I'm getting lots of people saying book now. Thanks everyone. Book is a great idea. If you already have a book, great. But again, any resource that you have is going to be perfectly applicable here. Will help you identify the key elements in your life that are preventing you from accomplishing greatness. And obviously that's kind of a little vague, but the gist is this resource, and maybe I'll put that in like brackets, this resource will help you identify key elements in your life that are preventing you from accomplishing greatness or, you know, desired outcome is what we want there in your identifiable trait. So it could be life, could be business, could be whatever. And then you want to give them some instructions. So here's how it works. Download the workbook. Complete the survey inside. What other instructions are there for a workbook? Review 10 24/7. If you don't know what 10 24/7 is, basically it's 10 minutes every day, 7 days a week. So if you review that, if you follow that principle, you can memorize pretty much anything and really implement it in your life without having to do too much extra work. And then download now. Yeah, call to action. And then in the resource, if you are providing some kind of resource, obviously within that resource, you're also going to have a call to action to go purchase whatever it is that your service is or that you're selling. For example, in this email, we were originally sending people to our academy, and in each one of these courses, there's a call to action for like a Groundhogg discount code. Just if you're not a customer yet, by the way, taking any of these courses will result in a discount code. So there you go. Coming back to here, I can actually close these. That looks good to me. So continuing to just send additional resources. And then finally, the last email that we're going to send as part of our lead onboarding is we sent them a ton of help. We've invested in the relationship. We've communicated with them. And now it's time to leverage that relationship that we've built, hopefully, if they've actually taken part in this funnel. And this is where we provide the discount code or whatever it is that your incentive is going to be in order to convert this person. A discount code is probably the most likely. I'm going to say sign up. Sign up, 15% off right now. Just tell them what to do. People like to be told what to do. If people have to make decisions, then typically they'll make the wrong one or they won't make any decision. If you've ever asked your significant other to what they want for dinner, then it's like a back and forth always. But if you decide what you want for dinner, then typically it's like, great, let's go do that. Sales options or getting someone to convert is very much the same, right? Don't ask them what they want for dinner, tell them what they want for dinner, and then you'll have a much better time selling, trust me. So sign up, 50% off right now. If you're ready to invest in yourself, we're making it easier to achieve desired outcome with your solution. And I'll put these in brackets. There we go. Use the code I found 15 off, or the discount code if you're choosing, for 50% off checkout for any of our courses for the first year, and then link to go do that, or a link to where they can go register. If you have a money back guarantee, put that in there. And if they have questions, give them an option to actually reach out. So if you have live chat's great. If you have a phone number, put the phone number. If you have the contact us page, send them the contact us page. Okay, that is the lead onboarding funnel. And if they don't convert, so if they don't sign up for a course, or they don't buy something, or they don't do whatever it is that you wanted them to do, then after 1 week, because we're going to give them a week to actually do that, we're going to then add them to our long-term nurture funnel, where we're going to send them to essentially receive blog posts, basically, until they decide to either unsubscribe or purchase something. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Every day is Groundhog Day. I did copy bits of this presentation from the Groundhog Day presentation, which is why it looks like that. If you're new to the Groundhog community, and you are not yet part of all of the different ways that you can communicate with us, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and all of those links for the ways that you can follow us are posted there. I highly recommend that you do that. And if you're interested in being part of my own personal community, then my information is also available. So we have our corporate and my personal information. For those of you who are new to Groundhog, I did promise an incentive for those of you who stuck around to the end. So here's that incentive. For the first year of Groundhog, you do purchase to, or if you decide to move forward with Groundhog because you like what you saw today, what you can do is you can use the code I found 15 off, which I mentioned a lot today. And I've been seeding that basically the whole time. So I found 15 off, and I'm posting that code in the chat. It gives you 15% off the first year of any of our premium subscriptions, Basic, Plus, Pro, or Agency. That's a no questions asked discount. Go ahead and you can apply that at checkout. We'll be very happy to work with you. For those of you who are still around, sticking around, you obviously probably want all of the links for all of these funnels. So what I'm going to do is post these in the chat now.